Let me go ahead and record, and let me start off with a couple of these examples, okay? So let's go ahead and go with example 2, okay? So go ahead and start by finding those factors of 70.
1 in 70.
Right, so we always start with 1 and with a 1 in the number.
2, I think.
2 and 35, right? It's an even number, so every time you have an even number, you can always divide it by 2. Now, like I was saying yesterday, it's like just kind of go down the line, right? It's like start dividing 70 by 1, 70 by 2, 70 by 3, 70 by 4. Eventually, you're going to come to the middle, right?
Sir, I will be right back.
All right. So like, for example, if you do 70 by 3, that gives you a decimal. 70 by 4 gives you a decimal as well. Then we do 70 by 5.
Uh, 14. It's like 5 and 14.
5 and 14. We can also do, well, again, we go 70 by 6. That gives you a decimal. 70 by 7.
10.
10. Good. And I mean, that's pretty much it, right? Because then we do 70 by 9, that's a decimal. And then we are right there at the middle. 70 by 10 gives you 7. And then we move on and so on, right? So
Yes, sir.
we pretty much met at the middle there. Okay, so remember now that we need these two things to multiply to a positive, but we need them to add up to a negative.
Yes.
So what does that tell us?
That's 7 and 10.
Right, 7 and 10. Those are the two that will add up to 17, right? So
Yes.
we can start off with that. Yeah, this one's 19, this is 37, and this is 71.
71.
Okay, so it's 7 and 10. Now they need to add up to a negative 17, but they need to multiply to a positive 70. So what does that tell us about our numbers?
I don't.
And well, for example, let's say they both stay positive, right?
Okay.
If we multiply them, they give us a positive 70, but they add up to a positive 17. So that means that they can't stay positive, right? So let's think about what if we made one of the numbers negative?
Then it would be.
Well, if we multiply them together, what would happen?
It would be positive 70.
Negative and a positive?
Oh, negative 70.
Right, a negative 70. So that means that now one of them has to be negative, but what if we make both of them negative?
Then it would be a negative 17. Positive 17.
No, it
negative.
would be, you're right. It would be a negative 17. They'd add up to negative 17.
Okay.
And when we multiply them together, that would give us a positive 70.
Okay.
So in other words, x minus 7, x minus 10. And so again, we can check that, right? Remember, if we multiply them together, let's go ahead and check that. So let's say x times x, that gives us x squared. Negative 10 times x, that's negative 10x. Negative 7 times x is negative 7x. And negative 10 times negative 7 is positive 7.
70.
And all we have to do is add up those two terms. And that
Yes,
would give
70.
us that negative 17x.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now let's go with example 4, and then we can move on. Go ahead and start off with all the factors. Let's list out the factors of 63. And I think that's quite a bit, so
Okay. 1 and 73.
63.
63, I mean, that's what I meant.
Yeah, we always start off with that.
Okay. So 60, 21 and 3. Or 3 and
1.3.
21.
There we go.
Uh, mm, mm,
Actually, I thought it was more, but I think there's only one more.
9
Right.
and 9.
7
What
and
is
9.
it? Yeah, that's what I meant.
Right. Okay. So now they need to add up to a negative 2, but they need to multiply to a negative 73. So which one of this is going to give us a difference of 2?
7 and 9, I think.
Right. If we subtract them, 7 and 9, that's 2. 21 and 3, that's 18.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
And 60 is 62. Okay. So they need to add up to a negative 2, but they need to multiply to a negative 63.
Mm-hmm.
So that tells us is that one of them has to be negative. Okay.
So negative 7.
All right. Well, if we do negative 7, 9 minus 7 gives us a positive 2. So what if we did negative 9 instead of negative 7?
Okay.
That would give us
But the negative 63,
negative 63, and it would add up to
negative 2.
right. So x minus 9, x plus 7.
Okay.
Okay.
That one was easy.
Good. Okay. So what happened to Asia?
I don't know. She's
back.
still. Oh, there she is.
She just didn't say anything. All right. So
Same thing.
okay. So it's very similar, but if you notice, there's kind of a difference here because we have a number in front of x squared. Okay.
Ugh.
So that changes our strategy a little bit. Okay, but we're practically doing the exact same thing. Okay, we're trying to factor out, and so we'll only work with the first couple of examples, and then we'll continue on this tomorrow. All right.
Okay.
So our strategy changes a little bit. Well, what we want to start off with is seeing it's like, okay, can we factor out? Can we have a common factor out of all this? And you know, we have 2, we have 11, and we have 15. Is there a common factor between those numbers?
I have no idea.
Well, I mean, really, we can't, right? Because if we try to factor out 2, 11 divided by 2 is a decimal, 15 divided by 2 is a decimal, right? I mean, there really isn't a number that we can factor out, right? There's no common factor. So that means that we have to factor out like this. And here's what we're gonna do. We start off by multiplying the first number and the last number. So 2 times 15.
30.
30. Good. So 2 times 15, which gives us 30. Okay. Now, let's start listing out the factors of 30.
1 and 30.
1 and 30,
2 and 15.
2 and 15, what we just
15.
did.
10 and or whatever. 3
Yeah,
and
3
10.
and 10.
And 5 and 6.
5 and 6. Yep.
6 and
6 and 5.
what was it?
That's the middle right there, right? We met up at the middle. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. Again, we're going to look at the two numbers that add up to the middle number right there. So which one of these add up to 11?
6.
5 and 6, right? So we're going to rewrite this. 2x squared plus 6x plus 5x plus 15. So what did I just do there?
That you just plugged in the 5 and 6.
The 5 and 6, right? What I did is I broke down that 11, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that both of those things add up to 11. So all I did was separate them, okay? It's still the exact same thing. I just separated them, okay? And now here's what we're going to do. Now, when we put them in parentheses like that, we can factor out a number. So let's start with the first one, 2x squared plus 6x. What's the common factor between 2 and 6?
2.
2, right? If we factor out a 2, and what about between x squared and x? What's the common factor?
Wouldn't it just be x?
It would be x, right? Because remember, the common factor is the lowest number possible, okay? So what happens? Let's divide 2x squared by 2x. That leaves us with x. And if we divide 6x by 2x, that leaves us with 3.
3x.
Well, not
Or
3x.
no, 3,
right?
because the
x's
x cancels out.
Okay. So let's do the same thing on the other side. 5x plus 15. What's the common factor there?
5.
5. If we take out the 5, so 5x divided by 5 would leave us with x.
X.
And 15 divided by 5 is
3.
3. Okay. So what do we notice here?
That, I don't know. That x plus 3 and they have x plus 3. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. These two things are the same. X plus 3. Okay. And so what we're going to do is those two numbers that are on the outside, we're just going to put them together. And those are our factors. 2x plus 5 and x plus 3.
That was hard.
So that was a little, yes, that is a little bit different from what we've been doing. Okay. Because it does require a couple more steps. But let's go ahead and check it, right? Just to see. 2x plus 5 and x plus 3. So 2x times x, that gives us 2x squared. 2x times 3 is 6x. 5 times x is 5x. And 5 times 3 is 15. So 2x squared. And if we combine 6x and 5x, that's 11x. And then 15. Okay. So we're definitely going to get a couple more, we're going to get some more practice in this. I know that it can be a little bit difficult. Okay. Okay. So we'll go ahead and continue this tomorrow.
Okay.
Sounds good?